Hey guys, and welcome on into another episode of Getting Wild and Flying High, free NHL and MLB picks. I am Terry, ready to break down the Sunday slate. So we are just going to jump right into it and start with the NHL slate. Three NHL games, three NHL playoff games for Sunday, and I have the exact same play in all three games. I'm going to tackle this NHL slate a little bit differently than I have previously. So Carolina plus 105 to plus 120, New Jersey Devils minus 128 to minus 150, 5.5s right across the board in this game. And you're going to hear me say this three times. I'm taking the draw. How I'm going to do this, I'm going to take the draw in all three games. Carolina, New Jersey plus 300, Toronto, Florida plus 340, and Dallas, Seattle plus 310. I just feel like this Sunday slate of games is so tough for me to choose a side on either side. Um, just need one. Just need one of those games to go to overtime, and I believe we can do it. So that's how I'm going to go about this here, is taking the draw in this game and the other two games. When it comes to player props, I don't really have anything for Carolina, New Jersey, Dallas, Seattle the same way. You want to look at Joe Pavelski. I guess we'll get to that game. So nothing for this game when it comes to player props. Next game here, Toronto and Florida. Toronto minus 122 to minus 135. Florida minus 105 to plus 117. 6.5s across the board. I want to take Florida. I want to take Florida here, plus money at home. They've looked really good in the first two games against this series, looking like a team that wants to upset another team and head to the conference finals. The issue is I just feel like we are going to get kind of like the Edmonton against Vegas. Edmonton really bounced back in game two. Um, at least they were. It was. I have the game turned off now to do the show, but unless something crazy happens, um, I kind of feel like we're going to get that kind of effort from Toronto that we saw from Edmonton, where they just try to dominate this team. But I'm just not sure if it happens or not. So I can't take Florida. I'm not taking Toronto, and the over is too pricey. So once again, I'm taking the draw. I can see overtime in this one, and that's where I'm going to go here. In our third and final game between the Dallas Stars and Seattle Kraken, Dallas minus 140 to minus 150, Seattle plus 110 to plus 127, 5.5s right across the board here. I took Seattle in game one, took Seattle in game two. I'm not going to take Seattle in game three here. Um, Dallas is kind of following similar to the round one, where they lost game one in overtime. They won game two in pretty much convincing fashion. And then they ended up losing game three in Minnesota. Minnesota is a very good team in game threes. Obviously, Seattle, being a new team, doesn't have that type of history. But I could see Seattle winning this game. I'm just going to take the draw. Going to take the draw here. I think this one, especially, we could see a 2-2 game going overtime. Dallas has struggled in overtime, so I could see Seattle getting the win, but I'm going to stick with the draw. Plus 310. Joe Pavelski, anytime goal, has to be on the card with the way he has been playing. Jump over to the MLB. A little bit of a shorter shows on the weekend, but it's to the point and frank, and that's all fine. But Toronto and Pittsburgh, Toronto Blue Jays minus 128 to minus 145. Pittsburgh plus 105 to plus 120. Nines and 8.5s here in this game. Both teams came into this series on losing streaks. Toronto convincing wins in against with Chris Bassett on the mound in game one of this series. Jose Barrios looked excellent in game two of the series. Now we have game three where we have Yusei Kikuchi against a Contreras. Yusei Kikuchi 4-0 with a 4.02 ERA. This Pittsburgh team is not hitting very well in this series. Since they started to face Tampa Bay, this team has really come down to earth. And now I think Toronto's going to sweep this series. I think Toronto wins this game. I think Toronto wins this game by multiple runs, even without Vladdy in the lineup. As he wasn't in the game for Saturday night, I'd be fine if they rest him for Sunday, bring him back on Tuesday against a game against Philadelphia. That's what I would do. Give Vladdy another day off. Up and down the lineup was hitting in game 2 here. Contreras on the mound for Pittsburgh, 3-2 with a 4.09 ERA. I think if Toronto can get to him with his offense, and I like the Blue Jays to win here. I was on the over 9.5, or sorry, over 9 um, for game 2 here. Not going to take the over here. I could see a good game by Yusei Kikuchi. So I think Toronto is the right side in this one. One game I will be taking the over, as I have in both games of this series. Boston, red hot Red Sox. Plus 105 to plus 113. Philadelphia minus 122 to minus 133. 9.5s and a 9 available. I like 9.5 at plus money here. We have we have Houck against Walker here. Houck 3-1 with a 5.34 ERA. Walker 2-2 with a 6.91 ERA. Both these teams have good offenses that can hit. Even this game Saturday night looked like it was going to be a low scoring game, and then all of a sudden those bats got hot and the total went over. I like a similar result here with an over in this game with the Red Hot Sox. I guess you could call them the Red Hot Sox in this one. Going into our third game here, New York Yankees, Tampa Bay. New York Yankees minus 114 to minus 125. Tampa Bay minus 105 to plus 101. 7.5s right across the board here. Cole against Guerrera in this matchup here, and we are getting a fantastic price to back Garrett Cole in this spot. Let me just bring this up just to make sure. Yes, that he is still pitching here. It's a great price to back Garrett Cole. Tampa Bay, I was tempted on taking Tampa Bay on the run line Saturday night. They ended up losing that game, and they messed up my run line on Friday night. They won 5-4 when they were up most of the game until they let the Yankees come back. So that's kind of what kept me off Saturday night. I'm glad that I stayed off. The Yankees won that game. And I think Tampa Bay loses 2 in a row. I think the Yankees win this game with a good game from Cole. Pitching advantage for the Yankees. Hitting advantage, yes, for Tampa Bay. But has it mattered in the Saturday night game between these teams? I like the New York Yankees here. Our next game, before we get to the final rundown of games, Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Guardians, Minnesota, minus 125 to minus 134. Cleveland, plus 105 to plus 116. Eights, couple 7.5s here. I cashed the first 5 under between these two teams Saturday afternoon. Could not cash Minnesota money line. Sadly, they tied the game 3-3, but a home run later on in the game sealed their fate. Now we have Joe Ryan, who's 5-0 with a 2.37 ERA against Cal Control, 1-2 with a 4.73 ERA. Minnesota with the hitting advantage, obviously facing a righty, and the pitching advantage with Joe Ryan. I am on Minnesota money line here, and something that you have to play. We don't have to, but something that I should have played Friday night, and I said I was going to play it Saturday night, and I didn't because of the pitching matchup. But I'm 100% going to bet it. Max Kepler home run. Max Kepler, for whatever reason, when he comes to Cleveland or when he faces Cleveland, Kepler hits home runs. Home runs in Friday night's game, Saturday night's game. I'm going to Kepler here to hit a home run. I don't know the odds as of right now, but bet it Sunday morning when the odds are out. Max Kepler home run in this game. Going to the rest of the slate that we did not talk about, starting with Baltimore and Atlanta. Wells against Elder. Baltimore currently leading in game 2 of the series. I've been on Atlanta run line both games. Obviously, lost one. It looks like I'm going to lose a second. Not going to the same bet three times in a row. Um, Baltimore's giving Atlanta everything they've got, and they're winning. So um, I don't want to take Baltimore. I'm not going to fade Elder, but I can't take Atlanta here in this spot. Toronto, Pittsburgh, we went over. Boston, Philadelphia, we went over. Colorado, New York Mets, Feltner against the Chessie. Um, I'm tempted with Colorado. I am, but not going to pull the trigger here at this moment. We'll most likely look at Colorado player props of some kind. New York Yankees, Tampa Bay, we went over. Minnesota, Cleveland, we went over. Oakland, Kansas City here. I'm tempted to take Oakland with Miller on the mound against Yarborough, but this is a bum fight that I'm just not going to get involved in here. Detroit and St. Louis, Fado against Steven Matz. Again, I want to take Detroit. Detroit is at a big plus price here. Most likely, I may potentially look at the first five. I'm not sure. Um, I'll leave a comment here if I do add anything in the YouTube comments. But it's a lean with Detroit playing great baseball right now, and Steven Matz is just awful. Maybe Detroit team total. Maybe that's a good look as well. Surprisingly, I can't believe I'm saying that. The Detroit Tigers, but because they obviously don't hit the ball very well, but it's Steven Matz. Everyone can hit the ball well. Miami and Chicago Cubs, Alcantara against Wesneski. Total of 7 here. FanDuel. Let's actually bring that up here. So sevens and 7.5s here for this game. Obviously, it will matter on what's happening with the wind. Obviously, tomorrow um, in Chicago, but in Wrigley Field. But I'm not getting to anything here at this moment. But I lean with the over. Milwaukee and San Francisco. I don't know who's pitching for Milwaukee, but Stripling has been awful, and I'm not getting to anything in that game. Texas and LA Angels. That is my picks and parlays exclusive play of the day. You can get my premium play in this game up on the site in my 5 pick package, which will be up there. White Sox in Cincinnati. Kopech against Ashcraft. It's Cincinnati first 5 money line here. Looking at minus 125. If I have to take see, a lot of first 5 lines out here, bet 365 minus 125. So I'm locking that in as soon as we're done the show. As soon as I'm done the show, Cincinnati first 5 money line. Ashcraft against Kopech, pitching advantage with Cincinnati, and hitting advantage against righties with Cincinnati as well in this game. Moving on along to the final 3 games here. Houston and Seattle, Belak against Miller. I want to bet Seattle, but not at this price, minus 120. So I'm ultimately staying off. Washington, Arizona, Williams against Nelson. Pitching advantage with Washington. But not enough for me to jump on them here. Ultimately staying off. Dodgers, Padres. I've been on Dodgers both nights in the series. Friday night they lost. It's tied last time I checked here Saturday evening. So we'll have to see how that game ends. Urias has been pretty bad lately. Big bounce back game in his last game against Philadelphia. Can he continue that here against San Diego? That is the question. But nothing for me in this game as of right now. Going to the best bet segment here for Sunday. I'm taking Toronto Blue Jays minus 1.5 here. Florida is looking, or sorry, Florida. Pittsburgh is looking pretty awful right now, and the Blue Jays seem to have rebounded after their losing streak. So give me Toronto minus 1.5 at plus 125. That is today's show. Smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the content. Appreciate all the support. And we'll be back Monday, normal time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern, for our live show. And if you want to put your best bet in, feel free, put it in the comments section below. best of luck to everybody in your bets tonight, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Best of luck, guys.